Welcome in everybody, XWeaverX. Today we're going to be going over the 108 augments that are coming to Black Ops 6 at the game's launch. Now, Treyarch just updated the Call of Duty blog post, so we're going to be going over everything that they just updated on here, including all 108 augments and all of the Gobblegums that they announced at the launch of Black Ops 6. So we're going to have 8 perks here with 6 augments for a total of 48 augments for the perks specifically. Ammo mods, we have 5 different ammo mods with 6 augments coming out at 30 augments for the ammo mods, and field upgrades, we have 5 different field upgrades with 6 augments for each of those. So they provided an image for us to give us an overview of how we're going to go about upgrading these. So we're going to have a flow chart here, and it looks like we have to follow this order to unlock everything. So it doesn't look like you pick and choose, but rather you progress through each augment and level them up as you go. And it says here that at player level 11, we will be able to unlock the augment research. And once the research is unlocked, we can go ahead and select which item we'd like to research in the menu prior to the game. And then we can earn the XP in the game to make progress toward unlocking the augment. So it sounds like to go ahead and level these up, you just have to select. So like, for example, energy mine, we would just select the energy mine. We would use that throughout the game. And then that's how we would go ahead and level this up, by just playing the game with that equipment selected. Now each item is going to have augment slots, 1 for a major and 1 for a minor. There's going to be 3 major augments to choose from and 3 minor augments to choose from. So these are the 8 perks that we're going to have. We're going to have Juggernaut, Stamina, Speed Cola, Deadshot Daiquiri, Quick Revive, Elemental Pop, PhD Flopper, and the new one specifically to Black Ops 6, the Melee Macchiato. So then we have the overview of all the perks. Juggernaut, increase maximum health by 100. Quick Revive, reduce health regen delay by 50%, reduce time it takes to revive an ally by 50%. Speed Cola, increase reload and armor replating speed bonus by 30%. Stamina, increase movement speed. PhD Flopper, immunity to all self-inflicted damage and status effects. Dive to prone triggers an explosion, which increases the higher you fall. Immunity from fall damage while diving prone. Deadshot Daiquiri, aiming down sight moves to enemy critical location, increases critical damage to enemies. Elemental Pop, every bullet you fire has a small chance to apply a random ammo mod effect. And then the Melee Macchiato, replace weapon gun butt with a deadly punch that sends enemies flying. So going over the Coca-Cola augments here, we're going to be starting with Juggernaut. We have Probiotic, which slightly increases maximum health with Juggernaut. So that's going to add probably about 50 HP to our Juggernaut. And we've seen that in previous titles, so I'm assuming it's 50. Turtle Shell, armor acts as a shield on your back, completely absorbing damage to your back, no damage mitigation when hit from the front. That's really good. That's going to basically act, as we see in previous titles, having the shield on our back. I think a lot of us are going to be using this major augment. Honestly, I find myself using this one for sure. Reactive armor, when an armor plate breaks, nearby normal enemies are stunned for a short time. That's pretty cool too. Minor augments, retaliation, deal bonus damage while health is low. Hardened plates, armor plates have more damage mitigation, and durable plates, which slightly increases armor durability. Coming down to stamina, we have Free Faller, become immune to fall damage. Dasher, increases tactical sprint duration. And Stalker, walk faster while aiming. The minor augments, hard target, while tactical sprinting, projectile damage is reduced. Quarterback, use equipment while sprinting. Hot Foot, gain a speed boost after your equipment kills an enemy. Coming down here to Speed Cola, we have Supercharge, field upgrades recharge a bit faster. Classic formula, reload speed is even faster. That's super nice. Phantom reload, weapon magazines are slowly refilled over time. Speedy Roulette, the mystery box settles much faster. Quick swap, swap weapons faster. And fast pitcher, deploy equipment faster. So far, some of these are things we've seen in the previous titles of Call of Duty, whether it be build upgrades or some type of Gobblegum or Elixir that provided us these bonuses. Coming down here to Deadshot Daiquiri, we have Deadhead, further increase in critical damage. Dead first, deal double critical damage if an enemy is at full health. Wow. Dead again, critical hits have a chance of adding a bullet to your magazine. This honestly kind of sounds like almost a necessity if we're going to be playing for high rounds. I feel like a lot of us are going to have to run with Deadshot Daiquiri, especially this Dead Head right here, further increase in critical damage, and the Dead First, where we deal Double critical damage if the enemy's at full health. This seems like a crutch. It seems like this is something we're definitely going to have to roll with. It's going to be interesting to see when the game comes out. Going down to the minor augments, Dead Break increases damage to armor pieces. Dead Draw, reduce hip fire spread. And Dead Set, reduce gun movement while performing advanced movement. Now coming down here to Quick Revive, we have EMT, reviving an ally allows them to keep all their perks on their bleed out bar. Very nice. Equivalent Exchange, killing an enemy while downed will revive you and remove Quick Revive. This can be done up to 3 times. Okay, so there is a limit. We're going to have 3 times here of Quick Revive. Dying Wish, on lethal damage, become immune to all damage for 2 seconds and keep 1 health. Quick Revive is removed on use. This is interesting. The Dying Wish, this was something as the bonus modifier on Black Ops 4. So on Black Ops 4, if you had Dying Wish in your 4th slot, you got a bonus where it became this, immune to all damage for 2 seconds and keep 1 health. You'd go Berserk mode. It's interesting to see though that they are removing it after this activates, whereas on Black Ops 4 you got to keep the perk and it just recharged over a certain amount of time. But that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that works out. Minor augments, we have Swift Recovery. Reviving an ally increases both of your movement speeds for a short time. Very nice. Karmic Return, reviving an ally heals you to full health. That's really nice, especially when you're like clutching it up and you're getting hit while reviving. That can come in super clutch. I'm honestly kind of surprised that's not more of a major augment, but I digress. Slow Death, increase your time and last stand. Elemental Pop. We have Citrus Focus. If a weapon has an ammo mod applied, Elemental Pop will only activate that one. That's a huge difference because in the past when we've had Elemental Pop, it just automatically triggered no matter what. It didn't matter if we already had an AAT applied. So this is really cool to see that it'll only activate the one that you have available. I think that's going to be very centric focus around maybe certain Easter eggs where we have to have like a turn zombie, for example. Imperial Peach, enemies that hit you have a chance to trigger a random ammo mod. Electric Cherry, wait. Reloading creates an electric damage discharge that damage and stuns nearby normal enemies. The emptier the magazine, the stronger the damage. Okay, so I guess we're never getting the perk Electric Cherry in the game as it's a major augment of Elemental Pop. That's kind of cool, I guess. I probably would roll with this one out of all these major augments for this. Out of the 3 here for Elemental Pop, I probably would go with Electric Cherry. I'm assuming most of you would as well. Minor augment, Vulnera Bean. Slightly increases enemy elemental weakness damage. Pineapple Blast. Equipment can also trigger a random ammo mod. Pineapple does belong on pizza. Chillberry. Slightly reduce all ammo mod cooldowns. Okay. Coming down to PhD Flopper. We have Gravity MD. Just falling from heights creates explosions. DR Ram. Tactical Sprint knocks down and damages base zombies. That's really interesting. That's going to be really cool to see, I guess, to see how people use this, because we've never been able to just run into the zombies and knock them down and damage them by just sprinting into them. So this is a whole new way of playing the game. Having PhD Flopper in this DR Ram. It's going to be kind of cool to see clips that come out and how people utilize this. PhD Slider, sliding into enemies, trigger explosions. We've seen that in the past. Minor augments, Environmentalist, become immune to environmental damage while sliding. EOD Technician, slightly reduce height and distance requirements for explosions. And Tribologist, sliding distance and speed are increased. And coming down here to the brand new perk, Melee Macchiato. We have Espresso, all melee attacks are slightly faster. Vampiric Extraction, melee attacks heal a small amount of your health. That's really cool, I do like that. Triple Shot, your punch can hit multiple enemies at once. So this sounds like your punch can just go through enemies and, you know, do like a collateral punch. So that's going to be kind of cool as well. Stick and Move, backpedal speed is increased after a successful melee attack. Brain Training, your punch can one-hit kill normal enemies for longer. Very cool. Hidden Impact, melee kills reload a portion of your held weapon. I really like that as well. I think that's really cool. This is a really cool screenshot also. This zombie, this mangler here is just catching hands, bro. All right, so coming down to the ammo mods and the augments for the ammo mods. So we're gonna have the traditional ammo mods that we've seen, as well as one more being the Shadow Rift. So we have our Brain Rot, Cryo Freeze, Dead Wire, Napalm Burst, and then the new one called Shadow Rift. And Brain Rot, we know, deals toxic damage. Each bullet has a chance to turn normal or special zombie into an ally. Cryo Freeze, bullets deal frost damage. Each bullet has a chance to slow normal or special zombies. Dead Wire, bullets deal electrical damage. Each bullet has the chance to stun any normal and special enemy, generating a field that deals electrical damage to nearby enemies. Napalm Burst, bullets deal fire damage. Each bullet has a chance to ignite normal and special enemies. And then the new one that's being added is Shadow Rift. Bullets deal shadow damage. Each bullet has a chance to spawn a black hole if striking normal or special enemies, warping nearby zombies away and dropping some from the air at high speed. I think this is going to be cool to see how this plays out. I do like the whole idea of spawning a black hole and having an AAT that can do that. I think that's really cool. It's going to be cool to see how that plays out as well. So then we actually have the progression on when we unlock these. So Dead Wires at level 0, Napalm level 6, Cryo level 14, Brain Rot 27, and then Shadow Rift is at level 44. So then coming down here to the ammo mod augments. So we're going to start with Brain Rot. We have Plague. The charmed enemy has a chance to turn other enemies. This is the first time I've heard them use this word charmed while referring to a turned enemy. I'm wondering if that's like a specific word we're going to be seeing throughout like Easter egg quests, possibly. Pheromone, charmed enemy distracts nearby normal and special enemies for a short time. So that basically turns the zombie into a monkey bomb, it sounds like. So that's really cool. Big Game, Brain Rot can charm elite enemies. I don't know that I like this, to be honest. Just reading this, like in the past zombie titles, our AATs were always able to affect the elite zombies. So for this being a thing now where we have to choose a major augment to be able to actually affect the special elite zombies, I'm not a fan of that. And I'm assuming this is going to be something we see throughout this form. Hopefully not. The minor augments, we have Extension, Brain Rot duration slightly increased. Haste, Brain Rot cooldown slightly reduced. Explosive, charmed enemies explode at the end of Brain Rot's duration, dealing toxic damage. Okay. Then we come down to Cryo Freeze. Big Game, Cryo Freeze can slow elite enemies. Okay, Ice Cloud, enemies that are killed while frozen may leave a cloud that slows enemies. Frozen Stiff, enemies are frozen in place. Okay. Extension, slightly increase the slow duration. Freezer Burn, slightly increase damage to frozen enemies. And Liquid Nitrogen, significantly increase your chance for Cryo Freeze to activate. Dead Wire. Chain Lightning, the stun enemy can spread the stun up to others. I've always liked this. I've always thought this was like the Wonderwolf, and I've always been a big fan of that, so I think that's really cool. Big Game, Dead Wire can stun elite enemies. Lightning Strike, a bolt of lightning strikes from above, stunning all normal and special enemies in the area. That sounds very cool. I love how that sounds. I think that's going to be really cool to see. High Voltage, Dead Wire deals slightly more damage. Haste, Dead Wire cooldown significantly reduced. Extension, the stun and electric field lasts longer. Okay, so there is a theme of seeing this big game throughout all of these augments here. So coming down to Napalm Burst, there's that big game again. It can burn elite enemies. Thermite, increase burn effect damage. Firebomb, burn enemies explode on death, spreading the fire to nearby enemies. Okay. Extension, increase the burn duration. Incinerary, each damage tick has a small chance to spread to a nearby enemy. Contact Burn, initial burn effect deals more damage. And then we come down here to the new AAT, Shadow Rift. Shadow Rift can activate on elite enemies. Topple Danger, warp one enemy that deals shadow damage to others. Explosive Rain, enemies that are dropped from portals will explode on contact with the ground. Haste, Shadow Rift cooldown is reduced. Targeted, dropped enemies will fall on other enemies. And Supermassive, the Singularity's lethal radius is increased and can kill more enemies. I'm kind of confused by the targeted. I thought the purpose of this AAT was to drop enemies from portals that already damage other enemies when they come out. But apparently it does not. It sounds like the AAT really just opens a black hole, teleports the zombies, and they just spawn from another black hole and they're safe. They don't take any damage. So not really sure what the purpose of this AAT is going to be, other than maybe like a clutch perk to save yourself if you kind of get yourself in a corner. I think that's the only use this is going to have, it sounds like. We'll have to wait and see when the game comes out to kind of see, though. Coming down here to field upgrades and the augments for those. So we're going to have 4 that we've seen in the past, being Ether Shroud, Frenzy Guard, Healing Aura, and Energy Mine. And then the new one being Dark Flare, which generates a massive energy beam that deals lethal shadow damage. The beam penetrates everything in its path. Okay. So then we also have the unlocked Energy Mines at level 0, Frenzied at level 9, Dark Flare at level 20, Healing Aura level 33, and Ether Shroud at level 47. I'm kind of surprised Ether Shroud's at such a high level. I kind of thought these would be flip-flopped here, with Dark Flare being, since it being the newest one, would be at the highest level. So starting with Ether Shroud, we have Group Shroud. Nearby players are also cloaked. That is huge. That's insane. I love that that's a thing. I think that's going to be very, very good. Burst Dash. Warp forward a short distance, killing all normal enemies in your path. That's a change that Treyarch listened to, it sounds like, because back in Cold War, when you did the Ether Shroud, you would teleport forward, but you would not do any damage, and people did not like that. So now we have the option to actually warp forward and actually kill zombies in the path when bursting forward here. Void Sheath, swap to your dedicated melee weapon as it's imbued with dark ether energy. Kills allows you to stay in the Ether Shroud for longer. This can probably be stacked with insta-kill, so that's going to be cool. Instant reload, activation instantly reloads your currently held weapon. Extra charge, increase your max charges by 1. Extension, the Ether Shroud duration significantly increased. And then coming down to Dark Flare, we have extension, significantly increased Dark Flare duration. Supernova, the beam is replaced with a sphere that damages nearby enemies as it travels. The ball detonates at the end of the Dark Flare's duration. Dark Pack, beam heals and revives other players on contact. Very cool. That kind of sounds like the staffs from Origins. Broad beam, significantly increase the size of the beam. Heavy shadow, the beam slows enemies on contact. Extra charge, increase max charge by 1. And we're coming down to Frenzy Guard, Balance. Teammates can also repair armor from kills while near you. Retribution, trigger an explosion on activation. Normal enemies that melee the player are damaged and knocked down. Frenzy Fire, while frenzied, use ammo from the stock. Repair boost, repair more armor per kill. Extension, increase Frenzy Guard duration. And Rally, on activation, repair all nearby teammates, armor to full. Very cool. And then we have our Healing Aura. Resilience, all affected players have their health regeneration delay reduced and the rate of healing increased temporarily. That is huge. That's going to be really good for Easter eggs with the homies. Enduring Radiance, the beams and their healing effects persist for a short time after leaving the area of effect. Very cool as well. Persistence, revived players keep all perks on their bleed out bar. I love all these major augments for the Healing Aura. I think this is the best that we've seen in all of these so far. Inner Strength, affected player damage is slightly increased for a short time. Protection, heal players have damage slightly mitigated for a short time. Stoic Presence, on activation, special and elite enemies are stunned while normal enemies are knocked down. Very nice. So honestly, all the augments for our Healing Aura I think are very, very good. So that's good to see. Energy Mine. We have Scatter. The Energy Mine will split into 3 mines that scatter and detonate 1 time each. This is kind of like a cluster bomb, it sounds like. Turret, instead of a mine, deploy a turret that shoots at nearest enemy. That might be good for a boss fight for the Easter egg. Kind of like how we had the turret strat for Modern Warfare 3 on the Worms. Carousel, 3 energy mines will float around you, detonating when an enemy is nearby. Frequency boost, increase detonation count and duration of energy mine. Extra charge, increase max charges by 1. Siren, energy mine now attracts nearby normal enemies for a short time. So kind of like a monkey bomb. Very cool. Then we come down here to the loadout preparation before. This is an image of our loadout screen. We can set our Gobblegum pack. We can set our lethal, tactical, or melee. and field upgrade, as well as our starting weapon. I really do like this. This is like a purple tiger stripe camo. I think that's really cool. I am a fan of that. So we can start out with any assault rifles, it seems, SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, marksman rifles, snipers, pistols, and launchers. And then we also get to start with a melee weapon as well. I am not a huge fan of this. I really wish we went back to the old school zombies where everybody starts with a pistol and gives us a reason to buy wall weapons and hit the mystery box. I think this makes us a little OP, honestly. However, on the bright side, starting with any of these weapons does allow us to grind out the camos a little bit quicker. So that is one plus to starting with these weapons. However, I would like a way to just start with the pistol. And I know there's going to be comments about, you can just start with a pistol. You don't have to start with these other weapons. And granted, you're right, you can. However, I like a unified experience for all the zombie players, and I would like us to go back to just starting with the pistol, because I think that's how it should be. So scrolling down a little further, these are the tacticals that we can start with. Now the Simple Monkey and the Casimir, we are not able to start with. We're only able to choose between concussion, smoke, stem shot, decoy, and shock charge. And respectively, concussions at level 0, smoke 17, stem 30, decoy 35, and shock charge at 42. And then we cannot craft these at the craft table until level 18 and level 48. So as you see here is a screenshot of the available tacticals, like I just said. We have the concussion. It slows victims' movement and aiming. Deploys a smoke screen that blocks vision and automated targeting systems. Stem shot heals wounds and refreshes tactical sprint. Decoy stimulates footsteps and gunfire sounds to confuse enemies, sticks to the surface. And then shock charge, electrical trap that sticks to surfaces and electrocutes enemies, stunning them. We all know what our monkey bomb does. Attracts zombies for a short duration before exploding. And then the Casimir creates a small singularity that pulls in and kills enemies. And then we have our lethal unlocks, the frag at level 0, sticky grenade level 9, C4 at 14, thermo at 21, impact grenade 26, Molotov 32, blast trap at 41, and the combat axe at 53. And then the ones that we can start in our loadout are going to be frag grenade, sticky grenade, C4, and thermo. The rest of those we're going to have to craft at the workbench. The impact grenades at level 26, Molotov at level 32, blast trap at 41, and the combat axe at 53. Then we have available support items being the armor plate, RCXD, the LDBR, and the Hellstorm. Armor plates at level 0, RCXD at level 5, the LDBR at level 21, and the Hellstorm immediately. And then scrolling down a little bit more, we have the sentry turret, mangler cannon, the chopper gunner, and the mutant injection. And then the sentry turret's at level 12, you unlock it in game per match. Mangler cannon level 20, unlocked in game per match. Chopper gunner level 45, in game per match. And the mutant injection at 39, and again that's in game per match. And then we also have self revive, unlocked immediately in game per match. I believe, yeah, it's right here, maximum of 3 craftable self revives per match. So there is a limit. You can only craft up to 3 self revives per game now. Okay, and then coming down here, we have our Gobblegums. So we have the rare category, epic category, legendary, and ultra. I don't know what this is. This does look, I don't know if this is just for the shits and gigs or if this actually does something. I'm really curious to see when we get in game if that is a Gobblegum we can get. So we have our Gobblegums here. We have Killjoy at level 5, stock options level 8, who's keeping score level 11, cashback at 15, anywhere but here 21, exit strategy 23, soda fountain 26, profit sharing at 29, wall to wall 32, free fire 36, on the house at 38, nowhere but here 42, idle eyes at 45, wonder bar at 51, and hidden power at 54. We have our rare Gobblegums right here. These are all ones that we've seen in the past here. Killjoy is an insta-kill, anywhere but here, instantly teleport to a random location. Cashback, max ammo, temporal gift, activates on next time base power-up. This is a big change here. This is not going to activate immediately anymore, but rather it activates when we pick up our next power-up. Makes power-ups last longer. Builds up, lasts 3 minutes. Armor is twice as strong. That's a huge buff. Arsenal Accelerator, it lasts for 5 minutes. Charges the player's field upgrade faster. Then we have our Epic Gobblegums here. Double points, nowhere but there. Profit sharing, exit strategy, free fire, soda fountain, and respin cycle. I think exit strategy is a new one. I don't recall seeing this before, but all of these are in the previous titles. Nowhere but there, instantly teleports to random down player. Instantly revives nearby players. Who's keeping score spawns a double points. Free fire lasts 60 seconds. Firing weapons consumes no ammo. Does not work with wonder weapons. Boo, that sucks. That should definitely work with wonder weapons. That honestly sucks that does not support wonder weapons. Soda fountain activates on perk purchases. Next perk purchase gives an additional random perk. Profit sharing lasts for 2 minutes. A portion of the essence you earn is also received by nearby players and vice versa. Respin cycle respins the weapon in the mystery box after it has settled to one of equal or higher rarity. Exit strategy, activate exfil vote immediately. Reduce zombie spawns during exfil. So this is the new Gobblegum we've never seen before. And that just basically nerfs the exfil for us and makes it a lot easier. Then we have our legendary Gobblegums. Idle Eyes, Phoenix Up, On the House, Immolation, Liquidation, Wall Power, Crate Power, and Wall-to-Wall Clearance. Now these are all ones we've seen in previous titles. Idle Eyes lasts 30 seconds. Zombies will ignore players and stand idle. Wall Power, the next weapon bought off a wall comes Pack-a-Punch. Crate Power, next weapon taken from the mystery box becomes a Pack-a-Punch weapon. Phoenix Up, revive all teammates and they keep all of their perks. On the House spawns a perk can power-up. Wall-to-wall clearance, wall buys cost 10 essence. Immolation, liquidation spawns a fire cell power-up. Now we have our Ultra Gobblegums here. Perkaholic gives all players Perka-Colas in the map. Near-death experience, revive or be revived simply by being near other players. Revive players keep all their perks. That lasts for 3 minutes. Hidden power, upgrade your currently held weapon to legendary rarity. Wonder Bar, this is a new one here. The next mystery box spin gives us a guaranteed wonder weapon. Super cool. I'm a huge fan of that. Raindrop spawns all the core power-ups at once. Whimsical Gobblegums, Newtonian Negation. Lasts for 3 minutes. The zombies kill will fly straight up. Indigestion is a new one. Last 3 minutes, zombies killed experience extreme flatulence. This is something I've always wanted to see. Thank you, Trev, for bringing this into existence. Wonder Weapon Weapon Select, where we are now actually able to put skins on the wonder weapons. I think that's actually really cool. We're going to be able to put camos on the different wonder weapons, so that's a big change here as well. We have our dedicated crew here, so this is a view of the operators we can play at launch here. And we have our dedicated crew with a red background here, and it'll say dedicated crew right next to it. And if we play as the dedicated crew, we do get different lore and voice lines that correlate to the zombies experience. So I'm definitely going to be playing as the dedicated crew throughout my time playing. And then we also have progression challenges such as weapon camos, calling cards, mastery badges. We can customize our player cards to show other players what we've unlocked. Zombie intel for the audio logs, documents, artifacts that we've discovered. We can go back and listen to them and view them. And then stats at launch, which is also huge because in prior Call of Duty titles, we were missing stats on some of those titles. So for this to be coming day one is huge. And to wrap this video up, we now have HUD touch-ups as well. The Treyarch team did listen to us, which is a huge win on our part as the community. We have character portraits added to the lower left corner here, which I'm a huge fan of. I think that looks very clean. We have the general alignment and color adjustments made across the entire HUD. So just more centered text here and colors that look more vibrant. Perk icons now positioned closer together, which honestly, I didn't really think that was a problem, but it is nice to have it a little bit closer. Kind of makes it more unified. Zombie specific widgets added for certain in-game actions. Very cool. In-game Gobblegum reward animation added. Okay. And then we also have visibility sliders. So this is going to allow us to disable HUD elements, including the score feed, medals, and notifications, the minimap opacity, weapon and equipment information, and more. So now we're able to actually turn off the zombie health bars, as well as disable the like plus 10 XP or plus, you know, whatever for the medals every time we get so many kills in like a short amount of time. Anything to do with medals and XP popping up, we're able to disable the zombie health bars, which kind of gives us that more traditional like Black Ops 3 and prior zombies experience. I'm a huge fan of that. I think that's a very welcome change as well. So that's going to wrap everything up in this video that I wanted to cover. Go ahead and drop a sub to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to have a lot of Black Ops 6 content coming to my channel when the game comes out. Leave a like, share this with your friend if you found it informative. And as always, take care, peace and prosper, much love. We'll be seeing you on the next one. Late.